All right, I think this is better. It's still not perfect. I cannot get my sound right. So I hope that y'all can hear me when you find me. I am so sorry. I have 3 adorable cards for you today. We are featuring the Friendly Gnomes in this week's class to go, and I am too excited to share that with you. And I'm just going to give this up. I don't know what's wrong. The software I use for streaming, I think, had an update, but hey Denise, I haven't seen you in a while. It's great to see you. So I'm having some technical issues today, and I'm just gonna, I don't know, we're just gonna jump in. So it is the last day of the month. We are halfway through celebration. I just can't believe it. But this week is Class to Go featuring the Friendly Gnomes, and the cards are super cute. We're gonna do some coloring, and I'm gonna switch the camera and see if I can't talk and do all of that at the same time. And it didn't switch the camera. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that should be okay. That's better. But now I've lost myself up there. Okay, man, I thought I was on top of it, but clearly I'm not. All right, so here is the Friendly Gnomes stamp set that is in the mini catalog that is available January through April. These stamps do coordinate with the Gnomes dies that were introduced in the fall mini catalog. So we've got 3 gnomes, and let's see if I can get this right. Nope, I don't think that's her. The dies that we had, or maybe that was her. No, that looks like her. We're just going to go with it, all right? Let's see if we can. No. Oh my gosh, maybe I should start over. So maybe last night was a late night. Maybe that's what's got me off my rhythm. But so these 3 dies coordinate. The other dies are kind of bonus for this stamp set, if you will. I would say go ahead and purchase the dies because it's still worth it to cut out your gnomes. You can still do this adorable mushroom if you saved the kindest gnomes from the fall, and of course you've got these independent shapes which you can use to create some fun die cut gnomes from just die cuts without stamping, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm sure there's a very technical word for that makes a lot of sense rather than my somewhat broken English. It's funny, I watched a video replay this morning, and they were struggling with the English language as well, so I guess that's catchy. I don't know. Anyway, so these are the dies. We're not going to use the dies today. We're just going to use the stamp set, but it is so cute. I love this little stinking squirrel, and lots of fun stuff. So it's a photopolymer set. I'm going to set that over there so it's out of the way. How about that? All right, the cards and the kit. So with every class to go, you know, there is a make and take kit available when you purchase. So, oh my gosh, okay. The cards. Card number 1, isn't he so stinking cute? Card number 2, and card number 3. So this designer series paper, maybe I should put it right side up, probably looks familiar to you. I think I'm on the end of my 2nd pack of working completely through it. I just love it. The 4 colors are Sweet Sorbet, Balmy Blue, Paddle Pink, and Mint Macaron. And the patterns, just all different plaids and ginghams, just lots of fun with it. We're going to use some masking paper with this card because these are 2 different stamps and we don't want the balloon to run into his hand. I was a little impatient when I did mine and I got it just a little bit over. I'm going to show you the right way to do it today. Now, the kit. So for card number 1, this is what you would get. You'll get in your kit when you place a qualifying order. So the die cutting has been done. I used the stylish shapes and the something fancy. And then you have your card bases and your layers. And then I will send you the ribbon as well. Card number 2, you've got the card bases, the timber embossed, they're already embossed layers, the die cut shapes, the designer series paper, a strip for your greeting, and then you'll also get 2 white liner sheets for inside. And then card number 3 has the stylish shaped die cuts, the DSP is already cut for you, your card base and layers. So that is what the card kit contains. You'll also have access to a written tutorial as well as the replay from today's class to go as well. I am using the Enamel Dots Essentials with my cards today. They're in the mini catalog, and they kind of have crumb cake, black, and let's see if it tells us. Okay, I'm not seeing the colors listed on there, but that's what they look like to me. Crumb cake, white, and black. And if we're looking at them in the catalog, it's so cool to be able to share the catalog open like this. So the Enamel Dot Essentials are on page 37. They are $8. And I missed them. When we went through the new catalog launch, I missed them up here in this corner. Actually, it says Night of Navy, Crumb Cake, and White. So they are very dark navy. Could probably pass for black in a pinch. And I'm anxious. I've got this stamp set and I'm ready to play with it too. And as long as we're here, we'll go ahead and look at the Friendly Gnomes as well. This index in the back, I don't know if you all go back far enough to remember catalogs without the indexes. Man, I love this so much. All right, here is the Friendly Gnomes. And since this page opened up too, I'll go ahead and tell you that the Clover Punch is sold out and we will not get any more of that. So I'm so sorry, guys. I hope that if you wanted it, you were able to get it. All right, so up first, card number 1. And I've got my card supplies all. So these are my kits to do with you today, and mine are all out of order. So we're going to stamp on these 2, and I told you we were going to use some masking paper. So I've got a piece of masking paper, and we're actually going to do that. I think let's go ahead and do that first before we get all these pieces out. Because if you haven't used masking paper, I've been asked a few times how to use it, and I'm thinking more and more now that when I cut out the letters for Card Club last month, that I must have actually used a masking sheet instead of the adhesive sheet that I intended to use. All right, so this little guy, if I cut this 2 inches down, so they look a little bit like adhesive sheets. That's, you know, that's the only thing I can think of that I did. All right, so I'm gonna stamp this little gnome, this cute little gnome, on masking paper. It doesn't have to be, you know, perfectly stamped. All right. Then I am going to use the dies, and I'm going to get out the mini cut and emboss machine. And you the one that looks like your shape. And I'm going to grab my boho blue machine. Hello, everybody. It's great to see your friendly faces today. This boho machine I think is so cute, and you might be able to tell by the look of my plates that I like it a lot. I love using the mini. It's so, well, I don't have to clean off as nearly as much of my desk if I'm using the mini as I do if I'm pulling out the big machine. So I had some technical issues in the beginning. I had to actually create a whole new broadcast, which means that some of the links that have gone out are not correct. So I'll have to go fix that afterwards. And then I've got to run to the grocery store. No school today meant that there was a hungry teenager at lunchtime. I wasn't anticipating that. Okay, now I'll separate him from the die and put the die away. And that's really all we're going to need the dies for today. Then I need to separate this from the backing. Okay, so it's sticky on this side. It should be like Post-it note sticky, but it can be a little more sticky than that. So I'm actually going to take it and pick up some lint from my shirt, probably a little cat fur too, but I want it to be a little less sticky. All right, and now when I stamp this on my die cut, and I'm going to stamp it over to the left because I want to leave room for that balloon. So I told you all last week about my my use of press-on nails, and that I had ordered from Red Aspen and not used them yet. Well, these are the Red Aspen nails, and I'm pretty impressed. They were easy to apply, and they are stuck. Pulling leggings on and off, no problem. Socks on and off, no problem. And I'm not avoiding anything in my life. You know, I'm doing dishes, I'm doing laundry, I'm showering, I'm washing my hair. I know that's a great relief to everybody. And I think they're pretty cool. So if you want to ditch the salon and give these a try, let me know and I'll hook you up. All right, and I'm just kind of, you know what I need to do though? Okay. I could draw this in after the fact, but I'm actually going to cut around the hand just a little bit more because I want the balloon string to come up all the way to the hand. And honestly, I could actually cut this up and only stick down the hand if I wanted to, but why not do that? I don't think we'll need that. Okay, now we're just going to line this up so that the hand has this little mask on top of it. And you can tell, can you see? You know, we lined it up pretty well with that stamped image. And now when we stamp the balloon, it won't stamp over the hand. And guys, this is not the only way to do this. You could certainly stamp just the balloon and draw in the string. I just saw this as an opportunity to teach how to use masking paper, and that's why I did it this way. Now, that masking paper takes a little time to dry. I'm thinking that's where I picked up this little smudge, is because I didn't let it dry enough. All right, so I'm going to actually turn this just a little bit so that maybe I don't get my head stuck in there, but no No guarantees. Oh, now I really rocked it, guys. I really got that thick at the bottom. But let's see if I can pick this up. The hand is clear. How about that? So that is masking tape, and it's in the annual catalog. And we'll just let that dry for a second, and I'll see if I can find it really quickly, because it comes in handy for all kinds of things like that. And I think, okay, not where I thought it was going to be. It's not with the adhesives. It must be over here. Okay, I should have looked at this initially. Masking. You know what? I will. There will be a link in the blog post, and I will share it then, because I'm not finding it. Aha, found it. Masking paper on page 149. So it is right here. Number 9, masking paper. It's $7. You get 12 5x7 sheets. So that should last you a good long while. And as long as you keep it separate from your adhesive sheets, probably won't have any trouble using them for their intended purpose. Masking paper does not work so well as a substitute for adhesive sheets. So just in case you were wondering, everyone that attended my class can attest to that. Kirby, I saw you. There should be a package en route to you. And I think yours is complete, unlike I feel like poor Edie's is not complete, because I got ready to pack things away yesterday and I was like, I have an extra bolt of ribbon. I should not have this bolt of ribbon, but here it is. So now on my card, I think that I am down a little farther than I want to be. I'm going to try and get my greeting up a little bit, and so that I can leave a little more border on the top and bottom this time. This is the die that's cut with that something fancy. And those are also in the mini catalog. Oh my gosh, I'm just a mess. So last night we went to a Tractor Supply event and saw Luke Bryan, and you know, he's just too cute. It was a great show. We had a lot of fun. My husband and my daughter and I went. So she had a night out, no kids, no husband, and I know it was the first time she'd done that since the baby was born, but possibly farther back than that. All right, I'm not entirely sure that this is the straightest, but I think it's up higher, which was my goal. And I could have pulled that in closer to me to have a better look. Okay, it's up higher, and I think it's straight enough. So that's awesome. Now let's color this little guy. And, you know, I color a lot. So you may have seen, you may not be learning anything new here today, but maybe you'll pick up on a couple of things. I'm going to start with the Orchid Oasis for the balloon, and this is really dark, and I'm just going to take my cues from the artist's marks and color. You do not have to go right up to your outline. In fact, sometimes you don't want to, because you can that color will bleed over the edge. So start out and then come closer to the outline. I don't know if that made sense, but don't have to start at the edge, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Alright, so I started out with the dark, and now I'm going to come back and add light. Now the trick is, this is a really dark color, and to get it well blended, I need to put down a lot of layers. Well, every layer adds depth to the color as well. So it's a choice, you know, which do you want? And I mean, it's a beautiful color, please don't get me wrong. But you can see how I left the light mark just by not going over that as much. And I'm not always really good at picking out where the light should be. That's a subject for another day. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to take the darkest of the two blends and dot in the centers of the flowers, and just a little bit on these are so full of ink. All right, I'm going to actually take Highland Heather in a few minutes and blend that a little bit. I'm going to look at the beard next, and I'm going to grab a color lifter and Smoky Slate. And I don't necessarily want to give this little gnome a gray beard, but I want to show that there is some color to it. So I'm just grabbing again the artist markings and adding a little bit of the light Smoky Slate. And then I'm going to take the color lifter and push that around. This may make my black lines bleed a little bit. Oh, I went right into the flower. But the goal is to soften the harsh lines that I made and make this not stark white. Gnomes are so fun to do for St. Patrick's Day. I've got some little Valentine's Day gnomes. I should really get those out and replace my Christmas tree that's behind me. The problem is I see that behind me when I come in here in the mornings, maybe when I leave at night, and I don't pay a lot of attention to what's on top during the day when I might actually have time to do something about it. So, but maybe. Now that takes a few seconds or minutes to set, but can you tell the difference kind of where that has moved around? Then we'll go ahead and make the shoes. And I add the darker color kind of under the beard, because I'm thinking the beard is on top, so there would be a shadow over it. And then I'll blend that out. The last gnome I've already colored because I knew that coloring just takes some time. And in looking at it, it didn't have any techniques that I didn't think you weren't already familiar with. So I kind of skipped ahead, if you'll, forgive me for that. And I am just using different, I probably haven't picked the same color yet for the skin on these guys. But we have this whole set of lights. I think there's lights, mediums, and darks. So play around with it and and I'm not even attempting. I could take 2 different shades and do some more shading. I could add a little rosy cheek, but I'm not doing that so much right now. All right, then we need mint macaron and Highland heather, and we'll be good. So I wanted that color lifter to dry a little bit before I came back with the Highland heather, just in case it made it run. And, you know, flowers kind of have a stark distinction between the colors sometimes, so I intentionally, I don't know that you can see that here, maybe you can in the photos, I intentionally did not try to blend that. I let the dark color dry and then came back and added the light color. Just recently there was some discussion about how we store our paper and inks. Do we keep them in color family, or do we put them in more of a rainbow order? And for a long time I was team color family, and then I decided to try the rainbow order first with my inks, and then I did it with my cardstock as well. And I think what has happened is sometimes I'm reaching for a green and I don't know, haven't made up my mind which green I'm going to get, and because all my greens are together, I tend to maybe grab a different one than I thought I was going to get. So maybe I'm being more creative because they're in that order. And I had a little bit of bleeding over on that side. Bleeding of the, not me, but could be me, but it's not me right now. Had a little bleeding because of the color lifter. I had some bleeding into the hat. And I'm not gonna take a tremendous amount of time with this because you've seen me color quite a bit, and I'd actually like to do some videos that are kind of more specific techniques, so that today we can focus on the cards and another day focus on just the techniques. Sometimes it's really fun to leave that stark definition rather than blend it in. But there he is, and oops, see, I do that a lot too. Get them reversed. All right, so let's put those away and let's build our card. So set that one there. So the dimensions for this are all in the tutorial that you'll get when you place an order. Now, if you don't, maybe you're a demonstrator and you want the dimensions, but don't need the card kit, you want to cut it all yourself. I have a tutorial store now, and all of the previous tutorials are available in that store. And if you are a demonstrator on my team, you have access to those for free. You have a special coupon code to use. So that's a little perk of being a part of our team. And of course, right now, during celebration, is an amazing time to join Stampin' Up! With the bonus of, well, instead of choosing 125, so you get an extra $50 in products to choose from, or to choose, and have an option to add on that boho blue machine that I shared. And I'm working with a couple of people to help them decide, you know, where do you start? You know, that catalog is so overwhelming. It can be so hard to know and decide what you want. All right, so let's grab dimensionals. And okay, I think that'll work. Let's line up that there. And then, so you can see the back is, you know, pretty ugly. That just shows you the amount of color that I laid on. I'm just going to add a lot of little tombow there. Bring that closer in. Don't know why it's way across there. And then bring that up like so. All right, fairly straight. And then we're going to add dimensionals to this layer. It's so satisfying using these side pieces. And those middle pieces are there more to keep the middle supported than they are for stickiness. And just line that up a little bit. Okay. And this card didn't get any of the dots, but it does get a linen thread bow. So that bone folder that I just used, that helps burnish your ends, helps your card lay down flat. When you're building 3D items, it's great for scoring and burnishing those lines real well too. Might have cut this too short. We shall see. It is super curly. All right. Well, that's good. So bows are working today, even though my technology had some issues. So Ashley, just seeing your comment, yeah, the masking paper should be like a Post-it, but I have heard that it can be strong enough to tear cardstock. So just picking up some lint is a good idea to prevent that. All right, so there is card number 1 in the books. Too cute, right? And you can see the vast difference in the skin tones that I picked up this time. So they're all skin tones, right? So, all right. For the second one, I've already got the timber done. I'm going to add my designer series paper. I think this is cut 2 by 4. And then the circle on this one is the largest of the stitched circles in the stylish shapes. And on the last one, it is the next largest. Oh, the square. I do not remember which one the square is. I do not have those handy. Okay, so we can go ahead and put this down with dimensionals and just build on it from there, since they're right here. So all the dies I used work in the mini machine, but this embossing folder needs the bigger machine. This is a Sweet Sorbet base. And I think that is straight enough. Now this is a larger circle, but because we're going to add some little grass on either side of it. And I gotta clean up just a little bit, or I'm not gonna know where that stuff is in a second. So we'll put our greeting back, and we need the gnome with the heart right there. And we're gonna use the little grass and the love you. So I actually use my grid paper to kind of give me a point. I don't know, a line, I guess, because I wanted to come up high enough that that love you could be there. And I think that works okay. Isn't that cute? And now, I've got his feet as a line as well as my grid paper. And I'm just going to come along and put a little piece of grass there. And a little piece of grass on this side. Isn't that so cute? And as long as I'm at it, I got my ink out, my stamps out, I'll go ahead and stamp love you. So that's just on a little piece of crumb cake. I think that's straight enough. After all, this is whimsy, right? Thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate you guys sharing. Guys, the YouTube channel is up to 315 subscribers now. And the class to go is growing. I'm very blessed that several people have found me and are purchasing from me each week and taking advantage of the ordering specials. So it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to grab Granny Apple Green. And I did do something really different with, oh, I forgot, I don't have my AirPods in, so you guys can't hear me when I turn away. I'm going to grab Ivory and Crumb Cake. Night of Navy. And Sweet Sorbet. And, all right, I'm going to start with, not that one. Let's start out with the heart. I don't know that there is a suggested place to start. I just start where I want to. And I figured since his hand is holding that, that is where the shadow will be the darkest. And I'm just going right back over that dark with the lighter one. And sometimes I do circles and sometimes I don't. And I usually get part of the way around and I start working from the other edge and leave that light spot somewhere, not necessarily in the center, but and I just created that light spot by not going over as many times. All right, that is the sweet sorbet. And then I want to show you what I did on his hat, because I took a light crumb cake and an ivory to kind of give it this really almost no color, just a really, really light tan. And I started out with light crumb cake, and I used it as my dark color. But I really, so don't be afraid to mix these colors up. Just because it says light and dark of one color doesn't mean you can't use another color with it. All right, then I brought in the ivory. I'm thinking maybe I did this the other way around. That's okay. And then I use the color lifter here to spread that around a little bit. So the color lifter actually pushes the color around. It's not really for erasing, although you can erase some light boo-boos with it. And of course, if this isn't the color you want your hat to be, you do it whatever color suits you. And I've got that good and wet. I'm going to come back in with some of the light crumb cake. See if I can get just a light tan going on. Right, now we'll leave that alone for a few minutes and give this little guy some blue breeches. And my Night of Navy has a lot of color. There's not really a line that shows between his shoes and his pants. So I just kind of made one. And I'll come back and do, oh my gosh. Give him some kind of brown shoes. Just looks like a whale's face to me. Wearing little bunny slippers, little whale slippers. I don't know. Then for his shirt, I took mostly the light and kind of used it as light and dark. So I colored in. I've got just the light blend, and then I'll just kind of come back and add dots of it, or I might add just a few strategic dots. If you add just a dot of the dark, into the corners. You really get a lot of pop there. So you can add some depth that easily as well. All right, and then for our greenery, I do want this to look not the same as his shirt, even though it's the same color. So I'm coming in heavy with the dark. But so it's pretty cool that with just a few blends, you know, we've done something very different with crumb cake there, something pretty different here with granny apple green. Now we need a light. Okay, this is number 900. Let's see how light it is. Looking pretty peach. All right, now come back to our card. Put this up on dimensionals. On the last card, I want to show you something that you can do to add texture to hair. I think that is, you know, my granddaughter has really curly hair, and I've made things for her in the past. And, you know, if you color your light and your dark at the same time while they're wet, you have a hard time getting some curl definition. It just wants to blend in when you're trying to create contrast. So if you let that dry, you'll be able to add the contrast afterwards. Now, I'm a big, you know, I like to push to pick up my dots, but these are pretty tricky in the push department. So you may need to pick them up with the pointy end of your take their pick. But you've got 3 sizes here. I think this is pretty fun. We don't often get a crumb cake gem. All right, now we need some more linen thread to do a little bit of a bow. I go through a lot of linen thread. It is a favorite. But to tie a double, I just pull a piece off, find the ends, snip it in the middle, and then work with it as if it's one strand. Easier said than done when you got all this curling going on. And then same rules apply for getting it tight. You can get your fingers in. And then I'll grab a glue dot, I think. I'm going to kind of ball it up. Put it on the back of that. And put it in place there. And then just trim the ends. And there is card number 2. Aren't they so cute? So the gnome dies are still available. If you've got your fall mini catalog, the die number is still valid. But in the new mini, if you flip to Okay, I know I saw it. Okay, why did I bring it up if I couldn't flip right to it, right? Damn. Back here, it tells you what carried over. Here we go. So page 74 has a list of the items that carried over from the, well, actually that's not quite true, because it doesn't even have them here, and I know they're still available. So this is not complete, but it does have some of the items. Okay, if you need that item number, well, remember, it'll be in the supply list. Nothing like having a great idea and then not being able to support it, right? Okay, card number 3. So I just took strips of paper, and we used this paper Saturday and had, you know, little scraps and stuff left over. And I can hear Rosemary saying, "Oh no, I've learned, don't keep those, you never use them." And then when I started making this card, I was like, "Oh, well, Rosemary, we did. We used those strips again right here." But that's okay. There's enough in the package to keep going. And I'm not sticking those down completely because I may want to tuck them a little differently. You know, might need to play with them once you get all of them set. And then this one. See, I think I want these closer together. These can be farther apart because the little girl is going to hide them. All right, now, unwrapping linen thread. I come around twice, figure out how long my tail needs to be. Very scientific, not. And I chop off the end. And then before I tie my bow, I tie a knot. I can usually get the tension about right with the twine. I don't do this with ribbon because I cannot. And yesterday and today I did not get the tension right for this today either. It's too loose. So what do you do when that happens? Take a piece of tape and tighten it up on the back. So I've just pulled it as tight as I want it, and then you can see the looseness has transferred to the back. Look at all these things you're learning today, huh? Okay. And you could still put a glue dot under your bow if it wasn't exactly right. I'm not going to worry about trimming that up until I get that circle down. Okay, so this is my sample card, and I've gone ahead and colored her, but I wanted to come back now that this is all dry and show you how you can add those little dots of dark and make a big difference. So I'm going to come in around the flower. I've already got some that you probably, I don't know if you can zoom in enough to see, and then I'm going to come in and add more to her braid to give a little more definition there as well. So I need the mint macaron. I'm going to grab the dark, and I'm just going to come in and make these flowers pop out a little bit more. So can you see, did that make any difference at all? And we'll do the same thing here at her nose. Anytime there's a corner, you can do that and create, you know, without blending, you can then create a little pop just to give it more depth. Now, for her braid, I'm going to take the dark crumb cake and just kind of come along and define the braid a little bit. So you can see kind of the difference between her left and her right in that. Hair can be kind of tricky because it's not flat. So we've given her a little bit extra. All right, so let's go ahead and assemble this. And once again, we'll put dimensionals on the back of her. I have not stamped my greeting yet. And I'm going to move that one over so that the greeting can slide in. I didn't put the greeting up on dimensionals the first time, but I think I might this time. Yeah, see, that's still not... Usually thread I don't have a big problem with getting. But you're not clean, we'll put you there. Spring is everywhere. And crumb cake ink. The February calendar is not up yet, but it will be in the next couple of days. And the birthday class will be featuring the Sweet Citrus, and Card Club will feature the Petal Park. I even have a couple of samples just about ready that I can share from that. And since I didn't think this was tight enough, go ahead and bring a dimensional in and see if that tightens it up too. Got that one stuck to my finger. This way. So this one's got a nice wide border on it. See, that still feels wobbly. I think I might have to put a glue dot down. I'm not happy with that. And we'll let this slide in. Okay, and then some more dots, lots of dots on this one. I'm going to add a big shiny white one. There. Yeah, Joyce, you're right. These are great layouts that you could do so many things with. Last week, since I shared that board, the magnetic board that I did for River, I didn't get a template posted for us. So I need to come back this week and get 2 done. Okay, I think that's got all of them. So let me clean up enough to bring those cards in real fast. I'll show you. These are two of the designs I'm working on for Card Club. This suite, this Regency Park suite, has 2 bundles associated with it, and the Petal Park does not have any greetings with it, so it has this lovely floral, some other florals. So I used the thanks from Regency Park. If you don't have the entire suite, that's okay. You can grab a greeting from anything else. With this one, I didn't even add a greeting at all on the outside. So those are 2 of the 4 designs, and of course I don't add any bling until I get to the end and I see which one fits all the cards the best. But here are today's cards. Are they all visible? I can't tell. More or less. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I know that today we had some technical issues, and I'm sorry for that, but I hope that you enjoyed the class. If I can help you in any way, don't hesitate to ask. And if you would like to receive the Make and Take, the kits to make these 3 cards, then you can do so by placing an order. And if you have any trouble with that, just please reach out. I'm here to help you. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.